Hey everybody, it's Mark again. This is going to be part two of repairing the 1894 Black Slate French clock made by Japy Freres. Um, so kick back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, grab a cigarette if you choose to do so. I still have not smoked, and it's been almost a month, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I miss it every day. And if I had a pack of cigarettes in front of me, I'd probably smoke them. It's just going to be a struggle for the rest of my life. And so, anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this video. I had to cut it short because it's a pretty long video, and I'm not quite done with it. I still have a few things I need to do to it. So, please leave me comments. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to do so. So, I hope you all enjoy this video. I found that I think the best way to order these springs on Time Savers is, again, we're looking at hold in springs. These will fit inside of a barrel. That is the part that connects to so I got my parts in from Time Savers. Here's the listing. Here's the two springs that I ordered for the French clock. And, you're not going to get, well, I take that back. Sometimes you won't get exactly what you want, but you have to order the closest thing possible. And this looks like it will work. I ordered this set right here, which came from India, for the ship's bell clock. And so, never ordered it before. Want to see what it has in it. And I told you I was going to take a chance on this stuff. But I think with everything that's in here, I should be able to find a couple of springs for the ship's bell clock. Actually, I need 3 of them. And so, and I ordered a key, this hammer, a couple of screwdrivers because they were cheap, like 25 cents a piece. And that is good for small screws. And springs for the other clock that I'm going to work on. Another screwdriver, again, because it was cheap, 25 cents. And I've got loads of screwdrivers, but sometimes I grind them down. This would be good for really small parts. And I ordered this pair of tweezers. I think I have a pair of tweezers very similar to this. But I believe that these were non-magnetic, no, sorry, not these, but that way you don't have to sit there and hold the thing the entire time. You just grab a hold of it and it stays locked. But anyway, I need to get to working on the antique French clock. So that's what we're gonna do. So kick back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and I hope you enjoy this video. I did find the bottom of the clock. This is for the gong. And here's the gong itself. But I think it broke off. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix that. And here's the pendulum. I shined it up for the most part using semi-chrome polish. But on a side note, you probably see this sitting here. I found this out in my yard the other day. This thing is extremely thick and extremely heavy. My neighbor, I took it down. At first they thought it was a Coke bottle, but come to find out it's a perfume bottle. Like I said, it's extremely heavy. Back when things were made to last, even though it's broken, it's very heavy. I think it'd be pretty cool if you could cut this off and make a shot glass out of it, or cut it off up here somewhere and make a drinking glass out of it. That's why I have it. Well, the first thing is first, you have to get this spring off of this piece of wire off of this spring. Some of them come with a clamp that you would actually use when you wind up the spring. You put that clamp on, but a lot of times they just come with a piece of wire tied. And so the difficult thing is going to be getting that wire off without getting hurt. So let's see what happens. You know, this is live on video, and hopefully I don't get hurt when I untwist all the stuff. You just gotta know when to let go. So now I have to put this in inside the barrel itself. And you have to figure out which way to start it. This is the most difficult thing, is when you're doing this by hand, is getting it started. once you get it started, it's simple. But you have to, put all this inside this little barrel. And so, and you have to get the spring, this part of the spring, on top of this part of the spring. As you can see, the loop end is connected to the little tab in the barrel. So now I have to put it over the top. And once you get it over the top, you just go slow working it in. You're not worried about oiling it right now. And having carpal tunnel in both my hands, it's not a very easy thing to do, because after a while it hurts. And then you get the end in and you just push it. And so now I have to get my board out, because I told you in other videos that the spring has to be below this lip in the barrel. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see if I can put some magnification on it. The spring has to be below this lip in the barrel. And right now it's wavy. It's down, up, down, up. So in order to fix that, you just hit the barrel on a block of wood. And as you can see, now the spring is below that lip. The older spring, as you can see, was a little bit wider, but with time savers, like I was telling you, you have to choose the best match. Now it's the time to oil the spring. Get out your oil. Get out your oiler. And in this case, I use a toothpick. Dip the toothpick inside the oil and then just dip it onto the spring in a few spots. As the spring is wound up, the oil will disseminate to where it needs to go. I think that's enough oil. now I have to put this inside here, but as you can see, that is smaller than this, so I have to make that bigger. So I'm going to make it bigger somehow. And I'm going to do that off camera. It was simple to do that. All you have to do is take a pair of pliers and stick it down in there, and then open up the pliers. And then put it down in there again, open up the pliers, and it made the spring bigger, so now I can put this in here. Now with the spring on the barrel again, taking a hammer, the barrel on a block of wood with this in a hole, that way you can tap the cap down. And as you can see, that was simple enough to do, as long as the spring is below that lip that I was telling you about. And then you want to give it a dry run to see if it is connected. It seems to be connected well, so now it's time for me to put the other spring in the barrel. I hope you all are enjoying this video. Now I got this spring in the barrel, not oiled it, so now, because this will not fit in, I'm going to take my pair of pliers, I'm going to put it inside, and then spread the pliers open. As you can see, it's making the hole bigger. Now you don't want to make it too big, or you'll have to close it, because you want to make sure that this catches that hole in that spring. Now it's time to put the cap on. And you want to make sure that this cap is seated all the way down to where you're comfortable that it's seated down enough. And in this case, the hammer is kind of too big to get where I want it to go. So here I have a socket, and as you can see, the socket fits over that cap just fine. So taking my hammer to seat the cap. I said before that often you have to use the greatest tool that God gave you, which is your brain. And sometimes you have to get innovated, if that's the word, come up with different things to work on clocks or whatever you're working on. So I'm happy with this. the spring catches. Hopefully before too long this clock will be running. This wheel here, the pinion goes down in that hole which catches the minute wheel with center pinion. As you can see when I turn this, the minute wheel with center pinion is turning also. You should be able to see it turn. And so the time side second wheel goes down, and the pinion catches this being the pinion, this being the wheel. The pinion catches the great wheel, and then the wheel catches this wheel right here, which in turn turns this, which in turn will turn the escapement wheel. Now on the strike side, it's a little bit different because you have this right here, which is for the hammer. The gong. And then you have the second wheel, which catches the great wheel. The pinion of the second wheel catches the great wheel. And then this wheel here is what catches the hammer, and it goes down. And then you have this wheel here, which is connected to the flywheel. And then the ply. The ply pivot was bent. I straightened it out. I'm hoping it will work, but I'm not going to be able to know until I put it all together. Remember how I told you that when you check your pictures that you should verify your pictures? Well, I didn't do it. And so now I'm having issues as to where this wheel here, this shaft that the gong fits on, I don't remember if the spring goes on this side of the pen or on that side of the pen, but I will figure it out. And then you have this reel here, which will stop the train when it's done. This pin here will catch this wheel. These are my pictures. They're fairly good pictures, except for this. That's what I need to know. Let me see if I can get back to it. When I zoom in on it, it's really blurry. I didn't take a very good picture. So I'm going to watch my video because I know I pointed it out in my video. And, that's why I take pictures, why I do video, because I can't remember hardly anything. And pictures are your friend as long as you have clear pictures. And don't struggle with the French clocks. They have these removable bridges, I guess you would call it. It's a lot easier to take them off than to try to put the pivots in the pivot holes that they belong in. You see, now I have plenty of space so I can work on the other pivots. And toothpicks work pretty good for pushing your pivots in. That way you can break the toothpick versus breaking the pivot itself. But I'm going to continue putting this together and I'll be back. Still working on the 1894 French slate clock. Whenever you get frustrated, things ain't going that well for you, walk away from it. Take a break. I'm having a lot of back issues right now. I have to see a neurosurgeon. I have a consult set up for the 10th of next month. But anyway, I don't feel like working on clocks for a long period of time. So that's one of the reasons why you're not going to see a lot of videos from me. But I have plenty of videos out there to keep you busy. I probably have more videos than most people. But anyway, I'm going to take a break and I'll get back to it. I hope you're enjoying the video. Please hit the subscribe button. Please leave me comments. I do these videos to try to help you out. I'm not in it for the money. The money would be nice, but I told you a long time ago that I've accepted that I will never be rich in life. I do okay. I pay my bills. I'm 58. I will be debt free by the time I'm 60. So my parents were debt free by the time my dad was 37, I believe. But they lived in a very old 1-bedroom house that a family of 6 lived in, which was me, my 3 sisters, and my parents. But that's the house they finally settled down in, and they became debt free. But anyway, I'll get off. We'll get back to it and hopefully get this thing running. The fly is loose. it is missing a part that goes from this hole to here, which tightens it up. So I don't know if I can make something that will go in that hole to tighten it up, or whether I can just tap on the ends of these holes to tighten it up. But it ain't supposed to be that loose. I tapped on the end of the holes, and now it ain't that loose. How long it's going to stay that way, I don't know. It should have a piece where that hole is, a piece of brass where that hole is. Actually, it would come from here to that hole, but it's missing, and hopefully what I did will work. But it spins, and it's not that loose. Wanted to add this web page to this video. I'll add a link in the description of the video, but this is from the clockguy.com. And this is history on Japy Freres. The son of Japy. It says they were one of the wealthiest families in Bukot. It's one of his trademarks. It says in clockmaking, Japy's enamel dials became the standard for the great majority of clock manufacturers for 150 years, both in France and abroad. There are few French carriage clocks in existence that do not have Japy enamel dials on them. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. I think this takes you to Wikipedia. Anyway, I will, like I said, leave the Clock Guy's webpage in the description of this video. That way you all can read it for yourselves. Because there's quite a bit to read. So I was putting this movement all back together, and a couple of my toothpicks broke. So I ended up taking the movement apart, and I noticed that the shafts are all dirty, or they look like they got graphite on them, and I don't understand why. Especially like this one here. I don't know what that is from. I have no idea. So I'm going to change out my cleaning solution, and I'm going to clean everything again, because I don't like the looks of this. None of the oil that I put in here is spilled out on them. It's not an oily substance that is on these shafts, but they're dirty. So back to the cleaning solution they go. Somehow, and I don't know how, you see this barrel fits on both holes just fine, but this barrel doesn't want to go into the holes. Somehow that got bigger, so I have to file it down. It looks kind of distorted a little bit, if you could see it in the magnifying glass. Must have happened when I hit this on the wood. It kind of got mushroomed out. This is the gong, and it's broken off right here at the base. My plan is to take a drill and drill a hole in there, put this in, and then solder it. That's my plan. So this is my vise that I made back in school, and we're going to put some use to it. You all know me, I hate soldering. But it works. Now I got most of the movement back together. As you can see, the time side is working. And as you can see, the strike side is working. So now I have to put all the other levers back on. I did take some semi-chrome and shined up the movement. The movement does say Japy Freres. Then there's a medallion honor on it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we're getting there. I told you that the verge was too loose. There's actually threads on the end of it, so you can unscrew this thing all the way. But I was trying to figure out how to tighten it up, and it's got threads on it. So I just need to tighten the threads up. So now it's tight. It's an adjustable crutch now. And this thing says Brocot prop. But with the right key, when you rotate it, you'll notice that this brass piece comes up and down. And that's how you slow your clock down or speed it up. That is speeding it up because the brass piece went up, and this is slowing it down as the brass piece will go down. When this thing is adjusted right to catch it. It's missing it right now, but anyway, that's how you raise and lower it, is with this, the key. I still got quite a bit to do to it, but I just want to show you that it's alive. As you can see, it's ticking away. And you adjust it this way, or you adjust it by turning the movement in the case. But we're getting there. Now this is my clock, and it says right here, Japy Freres. Then down here it says Grand Medallion Honor with that symbol on it. And stand by. This is a NAWCC page, and I will leave it in the description of this video. It's dating French clocks. And this is that Brocot suspension I was telling you about. It started in 1841. But you come down here to Japy Freres, And in 1880, they were issued the Grand Diploma d'Honneur. So the clock, because it says it was presented to somebody on their wedding anniversary in 1894, it was made between 1880 and 1894. Seems like it never fails. I'm missing a screw. And I don't know whether I washed it down the sink when I changed out my ultrasonic cleaner, but it takes a special kind of screw. That way the click, I got power on this thing now, that way the click moves. It has to be a special kind of screw that fits down in the hole of the click. It can't be any of these screws, because when you tighten those down, the click does not move. The click has to be able to move. But I'm getting there. I have to adjust this gong. Hopefully I won't break it. As you can see, it's ticking away. I don't want to put the suspension spring on yet, because I told you I tend to break those things. Let me see if I can find it. Stand by. The gong on these French clocks are typically not adjustable. You can loosen the screw, and you got a little bit of up and down movement with this rod that goes into the I can't think, pendulum bob, but you don't have that much adjustment, and that's why you have this to adjust it. Like I said, this raises and lowers the suspension spring, which in turn raises and lowers the pendulum. Some clocks don't have this adjustment on it, so you have to come up with a pendulum that you can adjust, or you have to sit here and start with a long rod, let it run for a week, cut some of the rod off, and experiment in order to get the clock ticking without gaining or losing time. I loosen the screw. Maybe I can take this out. It's been in there for a long time. Anyway, you're going to have to take my word for it. There is some adjustment. It's just not a lot. Here's another French pendulum bob that is adjustable. And so when you're missing this part right here, you'll have to get one of these. That is adjustable. And you only have so many threads to adjust it with. Now that I took this out, let's see if I can get it back in. There we go. That's all of the adjustment that you have with this particular pendulum. Maybe an inch.